What's up guys, it's Amanda and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be filming my updated Q&A video. I have not posted a Q&A since like October, and that was before I even hit 1,000 subscribers, so it was time. And so I asked you guys in a couple of my previous videos, and I also asked you guys on Twitter and Instagram to ask me some of your questions, and I have them all screenshotted here on my phone, so I am just going to answer them, I guess. Okay, so the first question is from Miyabachi, and I will insert her question right here so you guys can read it along with me. But basically, she asked, what are your tips for an artist who is thinking of opening commissions for in the future? I'm very interested, but I'm not sure how to start or the quality of my work and the value of it as well. So that's a really good question. I don't know how much insight I can really give you, but I will certainly try. So basically the most important thing about commissions is you have to be okay with wanting to draw things for other people. And for me, that's really just not something that appeals to me. Obviously, lots of artists do it, lots of artists love it, and they're very, very successful, but it is something just to kind of like intrinsically ask yourself, like, is this something that I want to do? Will I still love what I do, you know, if I'm doing it for other people? And, you know, and it's really something that you kind of have to self-evaluate. It's not really something that I'm open to doing right now, so I don't have a lot of advice for you, but I would say to just make sure that, you know, you're not overworking yourself. Don't, you know, open up yourself to have 20 commissions open at one time. You know, you're gonna get so overwhelmed. So start small and kind of work your way up to kind of figure out what your ideal workload is. And then as far as pricing your work, because it's a commission, I feel like you should charge more than you would charge just to sell a finished illustration, so keep that in mind. And then make sure that you're charging yourself like a fair hourly wage. Like if you had to break down the amount of time that it took you to complete a piece on average, let's say 7 hours, you know, make sure you're not charging yourself, you know, $5 an hour or even $10 an hour is low. You know, minimum wage in some states is like $11, $12. So keep that in mind. And that's meaning don't charge yourself minimum wage, you know, charge yourself higher. And you know, I get keeping your prices lower in the beginning and then raising them, you know, as you become more well known, but just don't sell yourself too short in the beginning, because people will read into that as your lack of confidence and your lack of ability as an artist to fulfill commissions. So it's important to kind of find a balance, and I would just say break it down by hour, and then you can give people price estimates based on how long it takes you to complete a typical piece. And then my last bit of advice is to narrow the scope of what you allow as far as commissions go. Make sure that you have like a mock-up contract kind of written up, and make sure that you know, show that to the person before you really start talking about money or the themes or working on any artwork. Especially make sure that you kind of agree to the set of terms, and basically just make sure you're on the same page about what it is that they're going to be getting, you know. And if you're offering different kinds of commissions, like if you're offering sketch commissions, line art commissions, half body commissions, full body commissions, stuff like that, have that all very clearly defined and written out somewhere so that somebody can kind of look over that in more detail and then figure out if that's what they really want. Because having something like that allows people to say, okay, this is what I'm going to be getting if I commission this artist, and that also lowers the likelihood of them being unsatisfied with what they get because it was all out on paper. And then if they're unsatisfied with that, then you should have read the terms and conditions, you know. So that's my advice. Like I said, I don't have commissions currently open. I don't really do commissions all that often, so oops, kick my camera. So hopefully you still found that helpful. Sorry, the lighting in here is really weird too. I feel like I'm really dark on this side and it's kind of dramatic. Anyway, moving on to the next question. The next question is from Suntarp. Suntarp asked, what is your favorite food? I'm gonna have to be basic and say pizza. Pizza is my all-time favorite food. Over the weekend, I had pizza like 6 times in 2 days, and it was great. Least favorite food, I don't really like seafood that much. So I'd have to say seafood is my least favorite food. Least favorite Copic color. Let me see really quick. Let me take a look. I don't have any idea. Oh, you know what? You know what my least favorite Copic marker color is? Special black. Because it's exactly the same as regular black and it's all a marketing ploy. So special black is my least favorite Copic marker color because it's just a fraud. So that's my least favorite Copic marker color. And then the last question they asked was your least favorite Copic color group. I have a video coming out about this pretty soon, if that's not up already by the time you watch this. But I would have to say my least favorite Copic marker group would have to be the RV color family. I just don't use it a lot. Like if I'm gonna go for RV, I'd rather mix reds and violets myself because I just feel like the RV color family is small and not very consistent. That'd be my answer. I don't really like the RV color family that much. Okay, and then the next couple questions are from Instagram. The Bougiest asked, were you invited to join Artstravaganza? Yes, but I wouldn't really call it like an official invitation because when I was invited to join Artstravaganza wasn't really a thing yet. I think JMI had kind of dabbled with the idea here and there in the past, but he had not officially started like the group. So he just emailed me one day. This was before we were like really as close as we are now. He just like shot me an email and was like, hey, I want to put this group together. Like, you know, would you want to be a part of it? And I was like, heck yeah, that sounds like fun. So I think he just reached out to several artists and then, you know, heard back from some and not from others. And that's really how we got the group that we had last summer. And it took a lot of months of planning and prep, and you know, it took a while for us to kind of get comfortable and get to know each other. But I mean, it was kind of an informal invitation where he was just like, hey, want to do this? And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. And it has been fun. It's been a blast. And then the Bougiest also asked, do you plan on doing Artstravaganza next year? I hope so. I mean, I hope we're gonna do it again next year, and I also hope that I'm in a place in my life where I'm able to. I know as part of my program, there is a possibility that I will be overseas for several weeks next summer. I don't really know. I don't want to like for sure say anything because I don't really know yet. So I guess I'll have to kind of play it by ear, but I would love to be a part of it. I love this group. I love the people in it. And honestly, the people in the Artstravaganza group, I feel like they're my babies. You know, I feel like they're all just my little like internet children, and I just take care of that. Even though, is Nyrel older than me? Or are we, am I older than her? Nyrel, are you older than me or am I older than you? I can never remember. But either way, I feel like they're internet mom sometimes, and or like, you know, like their big internet cool aunt that's just like I don't know. Like, I just feel like so protective of all of them, and like anytime I watch one of their videos, I'm just like, you're growing up so fast. Like that's how it feels, honestly. So I love everybody in Artstravaganza. They're just make me so happy. Okay, wait, let's see. The next question is from Miranda Olson Art, and she asked, how would you describe your art style? And when I saw this question, I actually really started to think about it, and I was like, well, I really wouldn't say cartoony. I wouldn't say anime, so I'm kind of like pushing away from those. But at the same time, I wouldn't really say like semi-realism because I don't really feel like it definitively falls into that category either. So like, it's not cartoony, it's not semi-realism, it's certainly not realism. So I would just kind of like go somewhere in the middle and go like illustrative. I feel like that might be the best way to generally describe it. And yeah, I don't know, I would just say illustrative because that's broad enough where I feel like I can grow and my style can change a little bit without really having to change what I define it as. So I just say illustrative. I have an illustrative style. Yeah. I don't know. Little Redhead Art asked, what is the most important or memorable thing you've learned from doing art? I think the most important thing that I learned from art was actually not through doing art, it was through not doing art. And there was like a 2-year period, I know I've like mentioned this before on my channel, but there was like almost 2 years where I didn't really create art. And it was a time in my life that like I remember being, you know, less emotionally balanced, less well-rounded. And so I think what I learned from that was that like art is what brings me balance. Art is what grounds me, and it's what makes me who I am. It's what keeps me as sane as I am. And so I think I just really realized that like art is not just something that I do, it's part of who I am. And so I think the most important thing that I learned from doing art, I learned by not doing it. And that's just that, you know, art really is my therapy. And I say that all the time, and I mean it so wholeheartedly. It really is my therapy, and it's something that I cannot imagine my life without. So that was a good question. Thank you for asking. Mistfall asked, do you take commissions? Not at this time. And kind of going back to the first question, it's not particularly something that I'm interested in doing. There was, I think for my 500 subscriber giveaway, I raffled off a commission spot, and that was fun, and that actually worked out really well. I guess we'll see. You know, moving out to California has me all kinds of financially concerned because it is so expensive out there. Maybe I will open up commissions in the future. It's never something that I've been super definite about. But also I feel like if I opened commissions because I felt I needed to open commissions, I would get burnt out so fast and I wouldn't love it. So I don't know. I really go back and forth on it because I feel like people that do commissions are great, and I think that that's really a great way to be independent and support yourself as a freelance artist. But at the same time, I just don't really think it's for me. Like, I would rather just make something because I want to make it, and if somebody likes it and they want to buy it, great. But I don't want to make something like under the pretenses of like somebody else wanting me to make that. I don't know, it gets really weird. That's like, it really, like the phrasing that goes into wanting to draw something is really important. Because if somebody's like, I want you to draw that tree over there, I'm like, F that tree. I never want to draw that tree in my entire life. But if I walk by the same tree and I'm like, wow, that's really pretty, I want to draw that, then it's fine. Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's so weird. I guess I could go into that further if you guys are interested in like a separate video or something, but yeah, it's kind of weird. Oh, and then they also asked, if you weren't able to buy any Copic supplies, markers, liners, refills, etc., what art supply would you use? And this is a really good question. My go-to answer is like watercolors, because that's really the only other medium that I use is watercolor. But honestly, I feel like maybe I would experiment a little bit and get into gouache or acrylic, or I don't know. I as long as it's not charcoal or chalk pastels, I would really be open to just about anything, just trying, you know, whatever is available to me. But I'm more leaning towards saying watercolors, just because it's a super affordable like art supply, and it lasts you a really long time, and it's super versatile. It's just not something that I'm super confident doing, but it's mostly because I have markers as a crutch, and I know what I can do with markers, and I don't have as much control with watercolors. But if I didn't have markers, I'd probably still use watercolors. That was a really good question though. And then JMI, hi JMI, asked, what do you think your future art plans are going to be? I don't really know. Going through grad school these next few years are going to really be a true testament to, you know, my ability to balance and juggle multiple things at once. And I'm excited about that, but I also am aware that, you know, I'm paying a lot of money to go to grad school and that's kind of got to come first. So, you know, I don't think I'll be able to take art as seriously as I have been, and I say seriously with air quotes because I'm still really not that serious about it for all intents and purposes. But I I don't know, I guess, you know, it's always gonna be a part of my life. I'm never worried about abandoning art because I've done that in the past and it has not worked, and that's just not for me. But I also know that being a professional artist and being classically trained and going to art school is also not for me. Not bashing anybody who's gone to art school. My dad went to art school. It's just like not for me. It's not my jam, and I think that that's fine. Everybody has their own way, but I don't know, in my personal opinion, I just didn't see that as a good fit. So I really like the idea of doing YouTube, even if it's part-time, even if it is just a hobby and a passion project, you know, I love that. And if it turns into a business where I could do it on my terms and do it my way, when and where I want to do it, that's really, really exciting too. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess, you know, the people that watch me are really gonna be the judge of that, because if my channel takes off tomorrow and, you know, I start getting a supplemental income from YouTube, I'm gonna have to take it more seriously, you know, and I'm gonna have to kind of adapt. And that's what life is, you know. So it depends on, you know, you guys watching me, what you want to see from my channel and what I want to put out there. It's the perfect balance, you know. But I don't really know that I will ever consider myself a professional artist or a freelance artist. I'm just me. And, you know, going through grad school, I'm going to be full-time student, part-time artist, part-time YouTuber. So that'll be interesting. But you guys will, I mean, I'll still be posting videos and you guys will kind of get to see the behind the scenes journey of that part of my life. And I'm really excited to share that with you. And then JMI also asked, if you had to decide your favorite DC character, who would it be? So like, it can't be a three-way tie between Nightwing, Batgirl, and Catwoman. If I had to pick one. This is really tricky. I don't know. I relate so well to Catwoman, but I feel like if I had to pick one that I relate to most, it has to be Batgirl. Like, I relate so much to Batgirl more than I think any other DC character. I mean, I feel like I want to be Catwoman, like I would want to be that badass, but I'm not. Like, I'm Batgirl, and Batgirl is also totally badass, but like not in the same way, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like my favorite DC character would have to be Batgirl. And then he says, thoughts on Wonder Woman? Amazing. Best movie that I've seen thus far in 2017. Best movie that I've seen from DC in years, since the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, it's so good, and it makes me really, really excited and hopeful for the future of DC superhero movies. You guys know, if you attend my live streams, we talk a lot about DC movie franchises and versus Marvel and all of that. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts on that, you should definitely attend some of my live streams, because I'm always willing to talk about that. But I loved it. I thought I was gonna cry actually a lot in the Wonder Woman movie, because I've seen it twice now. I saw it once with my boyfriend, and then I saw it once with my dad and my stepmom, and both times I was like floored. It was so amazing. And I don't know, I love it. I didn't cry as much as I thought I did. I teared up like a little bit, but I love that they decided, you know, parts of it were cheesy, like, you know, love is the answer, and like love will solve all of our problems, and I get that that's like a little bit cheesy, but also I like that parts of the movie were dark. That was so important to me. It was so important to me that, you know, we got to see, you know, life and death and tragedy and all of these different things. You know, I like that it was dark and gritty and it felt real to me. And I love seeing all of the bomb-ass strong women in that movie, all of the amazing Amazon women, their badass fighting. Ugh, it gets me like so like pumped up just thinking about it. Like, I just want to go punch something. But that was it for the questions, you guys. Thank you so much for asking them. Let me know if you want me to do more Q&As like this in the future, if you want me to do them regularly, or like every couple months or so, because I'd be totally willing to do that. I love just sitting down with you guys and answering your questions. I feel like you get to know me better, and I feel like I get to know you guys better too. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you, what's today? Monday? I will see you Wednesday with a brand new video. Bye guys.